You can turn his mic on. Okay, turn Josh's mic on. And that is a quorum. Josh, can you turn your mic? Can he unmute?
You should be able to.
Possibly.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, we have a quorum. Good morning. My name is David McFadden. It is 11:06. I'm going to call this meeting to order. Hello? Paul? Okay, could you send Paul? We don't need you. We have a quorum. Thanks. Yep. I'm sorry for that interruption. That was Trustee Brooke, which is why I took it. This is a continuation of the public hearing from the regular meeting in May. And I'd like to call this meeting to order. Could I have a roll call, please?
Mayor McFadden.
Present.
Deputy Mayor Shaw.
She's present.
Trustee Brooke, absent.
Absent.
Trustee Casker
Present.
and Trustee Shara.
Present.
Okay, hey, how's everyone doing?
Very well. All
Good,
right.
good. Thanks for taking time on a Thursday morning. This is a continuation of the public hearing that we postponed last week, that we continued last week. The reason we continued it is because the law came in at the last minute and the trustees did not have a time to look at it and the public didn't have much time to look at it. Some comments were made, however. One of our residents mentioned why we took out sections F and G. And I went back and looked at it and I agreed that they should be put back in. They have been put back in. If you go to the website, gentlemen, I have copies here for you, but since you're not here, if you go to the website, scroll down to today's meeting date, open that up, you will see at the bottom the documents. I've added the document showing the track changes and the final draft local law with sections F and G back in the law. And there have been no other changes since our last meeting. So I'm going to open up the public hearing. Be it resolved that the Board of Trustees open the public hearing on draft local law number 3 of 2022, a local law to allow boats and other devices on Weewa Lake in the village of Tuxedo Park. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, there's no one in the village office. So I'll go directly to people that are online. I see we have May Short and Meg. Do either of you have any questions? If you do, raise your hand or, one of those symbols. Okay. Board of Trustees, do you have any questions? Okay.
Actually, yeah.
Yes.
Mayor, if I can just kind of summarize what I think the changes are, and then you tell me if I'm on the right track. So,
sure.
So I have clarity on what we're
yes.
doing here. Okay, so we're basically making a change so you can add other aquatic devices in the water, right?
Correct.
Like paddle boards and other items
correct.
Like that weren't covered in the law before.
Correct.
Giving the village the authority, should the Board of Trustees agree at a later date, to put pontoon boats or other craft that might be available to rent.
Well, yes. Yes. That brings me to a comment that was made by Elizabeth Shore and Courtnor. And she mentioned that the pontoons might be a little large for that lake. So I think the board should take that into consideration when we vote.
Okay.
But you're correct. This would allow the village to add boats and devices launched from the Weewa Park.
And only the village.
Only the village.
Like residents still wouldn't be able to put pontoons on.
Well, actually, no, they would be allowed to put pontoons on from the Weewa Park. So for example,
the property owners.
Yes. So for example, there. Yes.
Okay.
And the pontoon, all the devices, the aquatic devices would be from donations. They would not be taxpayer dollars, as would any purchase of any boat.
So can I ask a couple of questions?
Please.
So, in section 3A, we say effective Jan 1, 2023.
Yeah, for which, what was that regarding? Oh, for,
Yeah, section 3. So on the first page, throughout that paragraph A, we have effective January 1, 2023.
that's correct. For next season,
Okay, so not this season.
correct.
Well, but I guess, does that effective Jan 1 or Jan 1, 2023, does that apply to the entire agreement or just that section?
Just that section.
Okay,
And I could have picked Memorial Day weekend, but
right,
we might want to be preparing for it during the spring.
right, okay. My other question is, further down, chapter 65, section 4. Again, in A and B and C, we talk about over 6 months.
Correct.
Does that mean 6 months and over? Is that what that's intended to pick up?
Yeah,
Like, it's a long-term rental idea, is that?
Correct.
Okay.
We also, that also takes into consideration that several years ago, we passed a law or resolution, I believe it was, limiting short-term rental using services like Airbnb. So that's why I wanted to make it over 6 months.
So let me just ask this question then. So if I entered into a 6-month rental, that would not qualify.
Okay, I get your point. And by the way, it could be 3 months. I mean, if we decide that we want to make it less, like if someone's here for the summer, but it can't be less than 30 days.
So
Yeah,
why don't we, so
You
why don't
guys
we,
want to make it
so why don't
lower?
we, I mean, I defer to others. I think we should just be clear with the language.
Right.
Either no less than 30 days or no less than 3 months or,
Okay. How about we go no less than 3 months?
I'm fine with that. 'Cause that picks up the
Chris,
summer.
what do you think?
It's been a while since I've looked at it, but is it 89 days between Memorial Day and Labor Day?
Probably.
I think we need to cover people who rent for this, Memorial Day between. Or for
Right.
the
People that
summer,
are here at the
Memorial Day
club
and
too,
Labor Day.
right? The Gold Leaf members?
I'm not familiar with that, but I
I
mean,
mean, I
if
would-
somebody's going to be here for the summer is going to want to and should be
Right.
able to join the beach club.
Right. So how many days is the 29th through the 5th?
I guess 90 days does cover all of June, July, and August.
Yeah, I would just do
Yeah, 90 days.
no less than 90 days, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, good. Okay. So it's unanimous. I don't think this is so material that we would need to continue the public hearing. Agreed?
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that change will be made throughout. Thank you. That's a very good question. All questions so far. All right. What else do we have?
Rest of it looked fine to me.
Okay. How about
Yeah.
you, Tinka and Chris?
I'll let Tinka offer anything.
I'm good.
Okay.
Just and basically a lot of these things still have to come before the board again for more detailed
Yeah, absolutely.
discussions and votes.
Yes.
This is just letting the framework for the board to have those discussions. And
Yes, I'll give you some examples because again, Elizabeth asked some questions related to it and I'll go through them because I think it'll be helpful for everybody. Section 4E, no docks allowed, blah, 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 not 2009. That's all back. That's in. That existed in the code. So that question is moot. Is there a plan to restrict boat usage on WeWa or any lake by age. I have here the rules and regulations for the WeWa. And this is where we would put those types of things. And I'd like to give this to you guys so you can see what I wrote. And, you know, if we want to restrict it to 18 years old, that's fine, but it would be an administrative issue. It's not going to be in the law.
Okay.
And then will the BOT consider a limitation on the number of permits granted for these additional crafts? First come, first served basis. Will there be additional crafts stored? Again, those are things that we can put into the rules and regulations. Village intention to offer boats for rental. Does the village plan to purchase boats? How many? How are these budgeted? Where will they be stored off season? Who is responsible for managing these boat rentals, enforcing agreed upon rules and safety protocols? Again, to me, that's a board discussion for administrative purposes. Right now, we don't have an answer to that question.
No, we don't have any boats either, so.
We don't have any boats. But I did say earlier that it would all be from donations, which is, I think, appropriate. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean,
Yep.
honestly, though, it doesn't really affect what we're talking about here in the.
No, it doesn't, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
But I do want to put these on the record because I see that May Shore is on the line. Village intention to offer boats for rental. Okay. Section 6A, how is this enforced? As a resident living near the pond in Weewah Lake over the years, I regularly note cars parked. Okay, she's referring to the law, an existing law that says you can't park around any of the lakes. And so that's already in the code. And how's that enforced? I think we should alert the chief that there's been violations of it according to one of the residents. Agreed?
Yeah.
How is steam cleaning enforced? We plan to incorporate that into the rules and regulations. We intend to purchase a steamer to be on site. I've already discussed that with John. And by the way, our steamer at the DPW needs to be replaced too, for another discussion. And then she mentioned the pontoon boats could be too large, which, you know, we can discuss and determine. She repeats the question about who purchases the boats and non-boat devices. Final question, at the south end of the Weewah Beach lakefront, a small grassy area with a couple of trees and native plants once offered a shady alternative to the sandy, sun-drenched beach lakefront. This area has been raised. Kindly inform us why this was done and what the plans are for the future of the area. Okay, so we expanded the beachfront and we've the board chose a landscape architect who is going to give us a plan. And so when that happens sometime next spring for public view, we'll take public comments on the design. She's also mentioned a riparian barrier. That's certainly in the works. You know, it was something that we would consider. So I hope, Elizabeth, I've answered your questions. May, do you have any questions you want to follow up on?
Hi, Mac.
Okay.
No, that's okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But thank you for reading those questions for her.
No problem. Okay, so any other questions from anyone? Okay.
Hi, I guess I have a question. Beth Scott.
Oh, hi, Beth. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. So I'm at 121 Laurel Road. And I apologize. I know I logged on a couple of minutes late. Is there any clarification on the swimming in Weewah and where people can?
Yes, there is. There's essentially three possibilities. You've got the park opens at sunrise, and closes, if you will, at 11. That's the sound ordinance kicks in. And if you're a taxpayer without a membership, you can go to the park from sunrise until 1 o'clock, but you cannot swim. There is no lifeguard on duty.
Right.
If you are a member of the club and a village resident, taxpayer, you can go to the park from sunrise till 11 and swim between the hours of 1 and 8. Between 1 and 8, the lifeguards are on duty. Otherwise, there's no swimming. If you're a hamlet member, you cannot enter the park until 1, and you can stay till 8, and you can swim because the lifeguards are on duty. So those are the 3 scenarios. Now, if you're a taxpayer non-member, you need to vacate the park at 1 o'clock because the people that are paying should have full use of the park and beach at that time. And we have a administrative strategy to accomplish that with wristbands and at first. Now, we may have to modify the wristband idea. We'll see how it works. We're going to do the best we can to accommodate all groups. And I will be there this weekend personally, and we'll see how it works out. Does that help?
I'm reading this section B, and it's a little unclear because, it says that they can swim in the lake during the official hours of operation. So it almost sounds like people can swim anywhere in the lake as long as the Weewa Beach club is open.
Okay, right. That's a good point.
Yeah.
We didn't put it in the code because hours could change next year, for example, and we don't want to have to keep rewriting the local law. But in the rules and regulations posted on a sign at the beach as of 2 days ago, all that information is there. You must swim within the.
Like they can swim anywhere in the lake, not just at the beach.
I understand exactly what you're saying.
Okay, good. That's all.
And the answer is when you get to the beach, the hours that you can swim are posted, and it also states clearly that you can only swim within the boundaries, which are already up. And also, we had an inspection by the Orange County Health Department on Tuesday, excuse me. And we received our health permit today, and it clearly states, and it will be posted, that you can only swim within the boundaries.
Gotcha. But people who live on the Weewa, they can swim off of their property, right?
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for your question and for joining us. Anyone else have any questions? All right, I'm going to close the public hearing. Last call. Be it resolved that the Board of Trustees close the public hearing, a continuation of the public hearing on local law 3 of 2022, a local law to allow boats and other devices on the Weewa Lake in the village of Tuxedo Park. May I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Now, are we ready to vote?
Yep.
Okay, John, do you have the?
Hey, Mayor, can I just clarify a procedure? I think we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Just to make sure we get our records right.
Sure,
I don't
please.
think it's going to be an issue, but is Tinka allowed to vote if she's not on video?
Oh,
Yeah.
I think we're supposed to know in advance where she is. and
yeah,
post it.
I think, Tinka, I think he's right, but I'm not sure. But to be safe, since we have, well, let me ask this question. A straw poll. Do you guys feel like supporting the law?
Yeah, that's why I don't think it's
Okay.
an issue.
Yeah, okay. Tinka, so we don't have to come back and redo this, why don't you just abstain because we're unsure about your ability to vote since you're not on video. Is that okay?
Yep, that's fine.
Okay, now I'm looking for the resolution that Brian wrote. I did send it to you, but it's on the web. For 10 minutes to talk about a water bill today.
What's that?
Josh, do you? Josh, your mic's off. Do you have time, 10 minutes of an executive session to discuss a water bill?
Yes.
I do.
Tinka?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to go into executive session, guys, and then I will locate the resolution that was written, and we'll vote when we come out, okay? Be it resolved that the Board of Trustees leave the public meeting. It's 11:27 for the purposes of discussing a delinquent water bill. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, can we please, thank you everyone for staying with us. We're going to go into executive session now. We will be voting, and based on this straw poll, it looks like this local law will pass. You can stay on, or I can make an announcement after the meeting. All right, so let's go into assigned